Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Apexia Growth Engine, where we explore the real strategies, tools, and leadership decisions that drive growth in today's fast-moving AI-powered world. I'm your host, Philip Hollowell, founder of Apexia Global. Our theme today is AI, automation, and the future of customer engagement in regulated industries. And I couldn't be more excited to kick this off with Anu, a true pioneer in the space. Anu, I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us a little intro about Botco AI and the HIPAA-compliant conversational automation that you're doing.
Sure.
And then I'll
ask. Thank you for the nice introduction. My name is Anu. I'm the executive chairman and co-founder of Botco AI. Botco AI is a agentic platform designed for enterprises in regulated industries that need to comply with HIPAA, SOC 2 privacy rules to be able to quickly build very powerful natural language chatbots, our agents, and deploy them on their website or through SMS. I apologize. It turns out today I have a bad cough.
That's okay.
But I'll power through it. My background is I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been doing this for over several decades, and I've done about 5 different companies, not including Botco, and have exited for my investors for about $1 billion of enterprise value. And all my companies have been in sort of the marketing automation, e-commerce, payments kind of space, all kind of joined together.
Very nice. You've built and exited several companies. What inspired you to take on this new challenge in conversational AI and healthcare?
All the companies that I've done have been fortunate enough to be part of, have sort of had organic, roots. So I come across a problem and then I try to solve the problem. Look at my first company, Rubrik, right? I was a B2B marketer, very, quite well known and quite successful in my job. And I found out that I had to justify my budget a lot in the enterprise to prove that I needed the money that I needed to produce results for the company. And for that, I had to build systems, throw together systems. And whereas there was support automation, CRM software, sales automation, there was no marketing automation. Right. So I had to put together, here's how we're going to put our database, here's how we're going to manage our campaigns, here's how we're going to look at the ROI of our campaigns and trace it back to the budget dollars. And I said, look, if I'm having to do this, I'm sure my peers are. So I reached out to about 100 of my peers in B2B, and I asked them, how do you do this? How do you justify your budget? How do you get good leads? How do you, track your expenses and see where you're getting the best ROI for marketing in B2B? And they all had the same problem, and I figured, I found some white space here. So I built that system. I raised about $13 million over 2 rounds, and I sold it to our enterprise company. The first 3 customers were General Motors, Cisco, a company called HP. And they changed their name, so probably it would be the HP Enterprise Division now. And those were the first 3 customers, and they were very successful with our product. And then we never looked back. The company got acquired within 18 months for about $6 million. And now, from the days where we went around asking, VCs telling us that marketing automation was an oxymoron because marketing is really not a science, it's an art. It's a science. And us having to prove that there really was a need for it. And to now, where a marketing automation is so well understood, has grown. So that's how I stumbled into Botco AI, because we looked at some of the promises that we made when we set up Rubrik. And we looked at some emerging channels of communication and engagement with customers. So, for example, over the web in a conversation, chat channels didn't exist when Rubrik was around,
Right.
except maybe in the very basic stages, but not even. And then SMS. And we're like, well, how are businesses going to harness these? And so we came up with this AI-based platform, with all of the guardrails that enterprises would need, and went after the industries that really needed it the most initially, which is healthcare, behavioral health, and other related industries.
Yeah. What's one big lesson or moment from your founder journey that shaped how you lead today? What something big that just kind of hits you?
Well, I think that what really it doesn't, there's no like a hit, like a single eureka moment, but you actually do learn over time. So what all early stage, first time founders and entrepreneurs, we all have the same characteristics. A lot of us do. And one of those is the inability to give away control or delegate. So it's very micromanagement style, right? And everything has to have your input, whether it is what is the color of the sofa in the lobby, or which VC should we go with, or what should this contract look like for this customer? Should we build those features? Do other people need it also? Are we just doing a one-off for Cisco, for example?
Right.
So, those are the things that is the primary reason why most founders, I think that's one of the primary reasons most founders can't scale their companies. And so that, I think, over time you learn, if you really want to scale yourself and you want to scale your company, you have to find people that are better than you, and then let them do their work, not micromanage them. I think that's a big lesson.
Definitely one I've been learning. I listen to Dan Martell, and that's one of the things he repeats all the time is find other people to do it. So healthcare is a tough industry to innovate in. What were some of the challenges Botco faced breaking in, and how did you overcome them?
Well, in healthcare, it's a vast field. So sometimes it feels unfortunate to just call it healthcare because there are so many facets to it. So where Botco really focuses is really much more in behavioral health and pharma, actually. So, those are industries also that really need what we have, but they also have a lot of regulation and compliance needs. So, we're not really we can, of course, address providers and, institutions and things like that. They generally have a larger sales cycle. They all do, but we sort of pick our niches within it. And just remember, we're a company that started literally just a few months before the pandemic. And so, we really, got a lot of demand during the pandemic, which really steered us in this direction. Because just imagine if you're in healthcare, you're either overwhelmed or you're not able to routinely see your customers because of the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody's quarantined. So all of a sudden, your archaic digital systems, your digital front doors, your integration into your EMRs to allow people to self-serve, all of that becomes really important, and that's where we can add a lot of value with what we have. And so that's why it was actually easier for us to be in healthcare at that point, because the need was so big and we were getting a lot of incoming interest.
That completely makes sense.
Mm.
That would lead to the next question. I'm guessing pandemic's probably your biggest growth lever, but I'll let you answer that.
Well, the pandemic certainly steered us in a direction. And after that, as a company, we decided, we didn't really want to or need to run a company like is standardly is done in the past, which is to raise just a lot of money
Mhm.
and then grow at any cost. So we decided that we really wanted to definitely raise money, which we did, but we also wanted to, reduce our negative burn and aim for break even or profitability faster than normal SaaS companies do, because it's a competitive market. There's a lot of undifferentiated messages out there, and it's better to be self-sufficient and not be burning cash. That's what we decided.
That makes sense.
And so that's what we focused on. We did raise money, we did spend money, and we did invest money in our growth and building our platform. But from a few years into it, we tried to balance growth with cash burn, limiting cash burn.
Def- Definitely makes sense. Transitioning a little bit, where do you see AI and conversational interfaces going in the next few years? Are we just scratching the surface?
But we're scratching the surface with AI. AI has a long ways to go to be really useful,
Hmm.
and it's going to get there, and it's really, really important. It's all around us, and it's just such a huge opportunity. It's a platform. It's that platform shift that we look for. But in order for it to be practically used, you need a lot of solution providers and a lot of efforts to go into that, and a lot of technologies that still have to bear fruit. So right now in the enterprise world, we talk a lot about agents.
Mhm.
And what are agents other than prompts and workflow? Well, there are a lot more. They are, if done properly, they're about decisioning correctly. It's about multiple workflows. It's about multi-agent orchestration. It's about automating manual processes in the middle of automated processes in one seamless way. It's about the way you handle data, and it's about insights that you can get. It's about speeding up, a lot of broken manual processes and, clumsy decisioning into something that's a lot smoother and flows better. And so for that, you need a lot of effort and technologies from you as a vendor, but also from the customer. So I do see that advancing and recreating real value, real sticky value, versus just a simple conversational chatbot on your website, which in itself is very useful. But it's just shifting the paradigm of engagement on your website versus shifting how efficiently a process works across your enterprise, not only
Yes,
your website. Yeah.
that's what I'm seeing a lot too, is just getting enterprises to understand their own processes clearly enough so that they can automate, right? Next question. Every founder hits a moment of uncertainty or surprise. Was there a pivot or unexpected challenge that ended up shaping Botco's direction?
I think that would be the pandemic. That was definitely a pivot for us. We didn't start the company. In fact, our first client was a hotel, actually, a very big hotel chain. So we
Mhm.
didn't start it looking at doing things just for pharma and healthcare, etc., regulated industry. We were just happily producing a bot that was going to increase your reservations and bookings and the stickiness of your loyalty program for a hotel chain. And
Interesting.
I think the pivot was caused by just the sheer need and inbound interest for a small company like ours from healthcare because of the pandemic. So I think that did cause us to pivot industries.
That completely makes sense. It's funny how things that happen to us can change the path that we're taking.
Unlike many other companies that I know that started around the same time as we did, we never focused on building our own LLM. Even though ChatGPT came a few years later,
Right.
we we didn't focus on just building the core LLM technology, but really on leveraging the LLM technology that started to come and how to harness that in an enterprise framework.
Mm.
to have, focus on things like no hallucinations, on handling data correctly, on what guardrails that can be put to, to protect private enterprises, and on the workflow that was needed to integrate disparate processes, on scaffolding that was needed to get data from different systems and put them into different systems to create a smooth application experience. So we felt that's where we could add the most value, versus trying to build our own LLM, because that building your own LLM is a huge investment.
It is.
And takes time, and also you really have to specialize. So maybe you focus on, say, medicine or something. You can't really do that for across related sub industry segments. So that's the call that we made, that we're not going to develop our own LLM, but we'll work with what's out there. And we do have core pieces of AI technology, but it's all meant to, get trained and to create our own fine tuning of models.
That's good. Amazing. How do you approach leadership today, especially after leading multiple ventures? Has anything changed for you from beginning to now?
Well, I think it's changed a lot. So first of all, I'm involved in multiple sort of initiatives at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not limiting myself to one thing. This is why I take a role of executive chairman, so that there is an executive operational team that's running things. My role is more of a coach, although I do end up running some functions or projects, entirely myself with hands-on. I do that. Or even some customer relationships hands-on, or even some marketing initiatives fall under me, where we run the whole thing. But really, it's more about being a coach to the team and letting them, sort of take the ball and run with it, rather than being bogged down with operational details. So I've definitely progressed, from when I take the CEO role. It's very different.
That completely makes sense. Appreciate your answering. What advice would you give to other founders working in regulated or complex industries and trying to scale?
I mean, it's the same advice I give. I also am a venture partner at a VC firm, so I coach some of our founders there too, or try to help them, with some advice, which it's up to them whether they take or not. It's a question of focus, right? I mean, a founder with an idea never met a deal he didn't like. But frankly, your success is really dependent on you finding that product market fit as soon as possible, and then being able to repeat it and scale it. And you're not going to find it if you're not out there doing it and
Right.
and focusing on it. So finding that elusive focus and that product market fit should be the biggest goal of any entrepreneur who starts a company.
I think that's the biggest challenge for anybody, is just getting their focus, especially for a founder.
I know. I mean, I joined one company. This is before I started my own first venture. I joined a company where they had a tool, and that was their main tool that they were building. And they had a small product that they were selling a lot of. So it was the only thing that was bringing in income, but it was in a completely different platform. And the founder is like, hey, it's at least showing some revenue while we're trying to find a market for this one thing, this new tool, new infrastructure. So they just didn't want to let go of that. Yeah, the revenue producing. I'm like, they said, oh, it's only one guy selling it. It was already built. There's a couple of engineers. I'm like, you know what? You have to kill this. You have to kill this product. And here are the reasons. And I faced a lot of resistance to that. And the developers that were involved with it, and the executives, the CFO, was like, hey, it's at least bringing in some revenue. I said, no, you have to shoot that thing in the head and kill it immediately. Okay. I did manage to persuade them to do that by being very rough in my analysis, and very clear in my brutal, basically. And they did. And the company took off. They couldn't understand how, but they absolutely took off when they focused on that new tool platform and killed this one.
So
And then
they were wasting a
public.
lot of.
They went public very quickly and had one of the biggest IPO openers
Nice.
within the next 2 years. Yeah.
So that's definitely something for founders to think about, is don't waste too much time and energy on something that's not really growing you.
Yeah. It's like there's so much little room for error. You can't say, I'll do this and I'll also do this. No, you only can do one thing. So you have to just pick what it is and go for it.
Yeah.
Do only one thing and do it right.
And that's another thing. A lot of founders I see is they see this next shiny thing and they want to go, oh, I'm going to do this too. I'm going to do this too.
You have to do one thing. You can't say, like there was somebody that was new to the industry. They're like, well, it's SaaS is okay, but I have a deal where they're going to pay us a lot more if we just give them an on-premise license. I'm like, are you nuts?
Why would you do that? Because then they can just take it.
On-premise, you're going to sell them a software license. It's not about taking it. Do you know what it is to support a software license in somebody else's?
It's a whole lot of work.
Running your SaaS infrastructure. Like, talk about death of a company that'll occur immediately.
Yeah.
And so this was a newbie, so I had to explain to them why this is not possible and should not be done, regardless of the couple $100 extra $1,000 they were going to pay us. It totally would destroy the company.
Right. Makes complete sense. I've seen a number of companies have that issue. And usually once they give the on-premise license, the software gets pretty much taken and modified, and then they say, oh,
and then they have to still support it. They still have to support it. It's like, what?
After they modify it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Looking ahead, what's something you're personally excited about over the next 6 to 12 months at Botco or beyond?
Oh, sure. Well, at Botco, we have some exciting new product developments in the area of the pharmaceutical industry that are coming out for launching over-the-counter, medicines, for monitoring adverse events, for managing clinical trials, the engagement and the monitoring of them, and for helping find matching the right clinical trial with the right patient faster. I'm really excited about that because if you can do that, you actually save lives. Makes your existence more worthwhile. So I'm very excited about these initiatives that we have in play right now. We already have the engagements of the customers, and we're just producing for them now. I also see voice is having a moment. So we're looking at all the engagement that we have done across all our website and SMS and applying voice to it so that you can be talking. So voice is definitely, from becoming talk, it's chatter, excuse the pun, it's really having its moment now. And we are riding that wave, or we are implementing that into our products. And similarly, we have video coming up. It's happening now, but more and more customers are saying, I'd like that. I'd like the chat, the agent to be talking, or should be, or supporting through a video image. And so those are very exciting for us to implement into our core platform and then implement it for our customers. So those are the things on our roadmap that I'm very excited about and that are in progress right now and will come to fruition now and be enhanced over the next 6-12 months. And in other places, I have a institution that I'm part of called Rising Star SPED Academy, where we have open schools for special needs children. And we're adding many more branches, and we're applying AI in education for autistic or people on this spectrum. So I'm very excited about some of the things we're working on there, as far as the number of institutions that we're opening and the kind of curriculum we are providing, individual, an IEP, and AI-based education, bringing it to the needs of special ed. That's really exciting to see, what results it'll produce. Already the early signs are great. So I'm very excited about that too.
That's awesome. Having an older teen on the spectrum, high functioning, I'm always interested to see what people are doing to help move them forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Did have one other question. You mentioned pharma. My background comes from medical device. Are you considering med device as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Coming from that background, I know plenty of opportunity where they could utilize the tools that you're.
Right. That's why I've set up my collaboration meeting with you for tomorrow, I think.
Sounds good. Okay. Final question. Where can our listeners follow your work or learn more about?
Well, we have a website, which is Botco AI, www, right? And on there, we have a chatbot called Botquina. We have 2/3 of our founders are female, therefore we have a Botquina. And so they can talk to the Botquina and she can tell them everything. That's one place that you can find us. I'm on LinkedIn, Anu Shukla, and I'm very responsive on LinkedIn. So people can reach out to me there. Yeah, those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Thank you, Anu. Thanks again. It's been an honor having you on the Apexia Growth Engine. I'm also really looking forward to continue our conversation offline, and
yes,
not just the collaboration, but looking forward to the coffee as well. So
yes, thank you for the tea shop. I'll be there soon.
You're welcome.
September is when we're coming. So when it gets closer to the time, I'll let you know.
All right. I hope you and your daughter like it. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Recording.